Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today to talk about a tank a lot of you might love and a lot of you might hate simply over the fact that Wargaming put this tank in a $5 offer, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you bought it thinking it was a Kenny Otsu. Kenny and Kenny-Otsu are two different tanks, but don't worry, even if you bought it thinking it was the Kenny-Otsu, this tank is still amazing. I'm not gonna go into detail concerning the armor, etc, because it's only a tier 3, but all I can tell you about this tank is that it's one of my favorite steel clubbing tank that I just discovered as I did that review, because I never played that tank before. But oh boy, do I have to admit, it's a really funny one. Now, what I want to show you real quick, you don't have any armor and a good mobility. The only thing you need to care about is your gun. That's what makes it great in my opinion. Yes, you have a bad gun dispersion. Yes, you have a kind of long reload, 6.5 seconds, but you have an auto loader, 2 shells in the magazine with a good penetration for tier 3 and a burst, a possible burst of 130 in 0.7 seconds every time you reload. And trust me, this is some good tank to have fun against low tiers and newbies. But one thing for the equipments, that's what you should go with. You go for calibrated shell, after enhanced gun, laying drive, finally refined gun. After you go for the defense system, the improved assembly and the toolbox. Finally, improved optics, engine accelerator and consumable delivery system. I'm not gonna bother explaining you why I'm using them because it's a tier 3, but trust me, equip it with it. And now let's jump directly into some juicy replays. I want to show you 2 replays with this tank, the first one being top tier, the second one being bottom tier. And the first thing you can notice is how fast this tank goes for tier 3. We are going up to 45 kilometers per hour. Of course, we were using a speed boost, but even without the speed boost, you can get to those kind of speed. It's just gonna take a little bit longer. But hey, this tank, when it's top tier, is a nightmare to face. I remember asking to people on the Discord, hey, I don't know if I should do an in-shop on the Kenny because it's a tier 3, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be interesting for anybody. And everybody told me, Pantoufleee, you gotta do one because that tank is among the most broken tier 3 tanks. At first, not gonna lie, I was not convinced. I thought people were just making fun of me because they just wanted another video. And I said, you know what, it doesn't cost too much to just even try the tank. I tried it and whoa, well, yeah, okay, people did not lie, that tank is amazing. The gun is the main thing about this tank and what makes it lovely. The cool factor with the gun is that it combines a good burst with a good reload time for the autoloader, but also as you have 2 shots to shoot, you are not getting bored when you're playing it in tier 3, you know, it's not like some tanks at tier 3 that have 5 seconds of reload and it takes ages to finish off a target or even to take fun, simply because it's not really funny at tier 3 to have a regular shooting tank, because let's face it, at tier 3 you are not gonna play against skilled player. Most of the time it's still clubbing people that don't do well in tier 10 and therefore they pass their frustration on low tier at tier 3, or people that are discovering the game. But what makes this tank amazing is how trollish it is. I want to remind you that that tank back in the days was a tank you could acquire for free because it was a tech tree tank. And Wargaming decided to remove it, and on this one I gotta agree with them because out of all the tier 3, I think this is the most cancerous one, with the Kenny-Otsu of course, but I should have, if I had the Kenny-Otsu I could compare both of them, but if I had to tell it like this, let's say that it's the cheapest Kenny-Otsu, it's a worse Kenny-Otsu, but it's still among the best tier 3 ever. Of course, nothing is gonna equal an Otsu because the Otsu has a tier 8 DPM, but this one is a really nice tank you want to acquire in your garage. I also want to remind you that this tank, even in top tier, is a beast. It's a beast because if you know how to place yourself, if you know how to circle, if you know how to read maps, because trust me, at tier 3 it's not really hard to read maps, you will have great games because your penetration is actually effective enough for you to be able to smoke nearly every single armor at tier 4, except maybe for the Hetzer, the top part of the Hetzer you can penetrate, but for the rest, even the lower plate, you will penetrate quite easily. And this tank, honestly, it's a 5 euros offer in which you don't have only the tank. You have 2000 gold, the tank, which is an amazing one. You have some boosters. This offer is actually worth it. As it's a pop-up offer, I don't know if you still have it in your garage. If you do, you should buy it. It's really, really worth it. That's a great deal from Wargaming. And if it's not available anymore, then RIP, my review would be pretty useless. But trust me guys, if I take the time to take a review, to do a video on a tier 3 tank, it's really because it's worth it. So honestly, trust me, and if you can, buy the Kenny. Just look at this. Look at how easy it is for us to smoke those two tier 4. Of course, they were not trying to shoot me or anything, but even if they did, I just have to circle them thanks to my great mobility, and that's easy. That's easy. This tank is easy to play. That's like being a professional boxer and you have to box against, I don't know, some kids or toddlers. Like, this tank is amazing. And all we gotta do here is running around, circling like we're doing right now. Yes, it's a tier 3 and tier 4, but I still push forward. I have all my HPs. I can destroy them all. There is the SU-85B, sorry, because I really struggle with the name of tier 3 as I never played tier 3. And you see, you can just circle. When the only tanks you really fear are the tank destroyers. As long as you circle them and you try to get around if they don't have a turret, you are safe. Look at this SU-85B, for example, the first one. We circle him, we destroy him thanks to our great gun. Now there is the second one, we just have to wait for him to shoot. Here I'm not gonna wait simply because I still have a lot of HP, and even if he penetrates me with H, he will not destroy me. I just wanted to do my damage, and I did 1.4k damage for tier 3. And 1.4k damage with a tier 3 is quite a lot, but not with this one, because with this one, that's what you're gonna do on a regular basis thanks to its OP-ness. So yeah, this tank is worth it. You better buy it if you can, of course. I hope this review will help you, knowing that Kenny is not the Kenny Otsu, but it's still worth it. Thank you all for watching. Au revoir.